All right, guys, this is going to be problems from page II. So make sure you look at that as you know what I'm talking about. First question says, what's the probability she hits the bullseye? Well, all I need to know is what's the area of the bullseye. So I don't need to subtract anything because it tells me the radius of the bullseye is 6 because the diameter is 12. So the area of that would be 6 squared times pi, or 36 pi. But for probability, I have to take the area of what I'm looking for and divide it by the total area. So the total area of the entire figure, okay, is if you look at it says the diameter is 12, then it's another 6, then another 6. So the actual radius of the big circle, all the way across from that big circle, is 6, 6, and 6, it's 18. So for the big circle, its area equals 18 squared times pi. So 18 squared is 324. And so that's 324 pi. Well, now to find the probability, I'm going to do 36 over pi over 324 pi. And pi divided by pi cancels out. And 36 divided by 324 is about it is exactly 0.1 repeating. So we would say that the probability is about 11%. Okay? I could also have reduced this fraction. The next problem asks us, what is the probability she hits the middle ring? Okay, so let's talk about what the middle ring is. This right here is the middle ring. So, first of all, we have to figure out how are we going to find the area of just that middle ring. Well, what you're going to do is if you take the area of this circle right here and you subtract this in blue, we don't need that, that will get you the area of that middle ring. So the area of the radius of this big circle, well, the medium circle, the one inside, is going to be, it says it's 6 and 6, so that would be a radius of 12. So 12 squared pi, or 144 pi, is the area of this, if the whole thing. But then I'm going to subtract the area of the bullseye, which we already found out in the last problem was 36 pi. So when you have 144 minus 36, you're going to get 108 pi. So that's the area of just this part right here. Now, but in order to know the probability I'm going to hit the middle ring, I'm going to still divide it by, in that last problem, we've already figured out that the area of the whole thing is 324 pi. So I'm going to write 324 pi. And again, the pi's cancel out, so I can take 108 divided by 324, which is about, well, it's exactly 0.33, so I can say that's 33%, or I can say it is, I could actually could have reduced this to 1 over 3. So here's a 1 in 3 chance of hitting that middle ring. All right, challenge 2 talks about the seagull. So the first thing it says is, what is the probability that it will poop on the sandcastle? So the sandcastle is a square, 2 by 2 square, so that area equals 4 square feet. So it's going to be 4 over the area of the whole thing. Well, the whole thing's half a circle. So first of all, to find the area of, if it was a full circle, the radius is 5 squared pi. So you get 25 pi. But then you want to cut that in half because it's a half of a circle. So I'm going to make that 25 over pi over 2. So I got 4 over 25 pi over 2. Well, this is like the division problem, 4 divided by 25 pi over 2. So if I want to keep it in exact form, I'm going to say 4 over 1 times, and then I'm going to take the reciprocal, 2 over 25 pi. And you end up with 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 25 pi, obviously, is 25 pi. So you get an exact answer of 8 over 25 pi. Now, if you're finding out the decimal, make sure you do the 25 pi first, or make sure it's in parentheses. So your calculator knows you're doing 8 divided by that whole answer. So 25 pi, and then that 8 divided by that answer is about, it's going to be about 10, there's a 10% chance. So this is your exact answer, this is your rounded percentage. All right, next problem is on page LL. you had to do the total area of the dollar bill. So it says it has a base of 6 and a height of 2. So 6 times 2.5 would get you the area of the whole thing. The circle of George Washington, it said it had a diameter of 1.25. So if I cut that in half, you get 0.625. So, and it's a circle, so that's of course the radius, and that squared times pi. So 6.25 squared is, now this is a kind of a weird answer, but you get 0.30625. But actually, you can leave it as a decimal because that's exact. I didn't round anything. But that would be the area of just George Washington's, the circle in the middle. So it says so basically it asks to know what is the probability you're going to land on George. So the probability you're going to land on George would be the 6 times 2, I'm sorry, this number right here, that's the number at the top, and you're going to divide that by 6 times 2.5, which is 15. So if I take 0.390625 times pi, and I divide that by 15, you get that the probability is it's going to be about 8%, because you get 0.08. So the probability that you don't hit George would be about 92%, because you got to equal 100. And that is how you do those problems.